All right. Back to the No Cap Podcast, or No Cap Zone Podcast, powered by educational entities. I am your host, Jovan at the No Cap Zone and the leader of Students for Equity. I am currently a junior in high school, and I'm excited to invite you to delve into some important topics with you all today. Before we dive in, if you are tuning in on Facebook or any other social media platform, we'd love for you to spread the word. Share this episode with community groups and tag 5 people who you think would be valuable to our discussion. Now, let's take a moment to introduce our incredible members to make this podcast possible.
Hello, I am Xavier Simpson. I am currently a student at Morrow High School. I am in 10th grade and happy to be here.
All right. So real quick, we're gonna delve into the No Cap Zone news. So this month's highlight is about nutrition, National Nutrition Month. So here are 2 important facts about nutrition. According to the CDC, or the Center of Disease Control and Prevention in the United States, the prevalence of obesity among adolescents aged to 19 is approximately 20.6%, and this is during 2019-2020. And another thing is poor dietary habits, including inadequate intake of fruit, vegetables, and whole grains, contribute to nutrition deficiencies, which could lead to gut, mental, and many more issues later on within your life. Also, follow us on Twitter, YouTube under Educational Entities. That's all for No Cap Zone news, and I'll turn it over to Xavier for the No Cap Zone games, movies, and more.
Okay. Hello, I'm Xavier, and I'm talking about games, movies, and more.
All right. For some reason, Xavier's having issues, so I'll cover that. So two new things that are happening within the gaming industry is AI and VR integration. The integration of artificial intelligence or AI and virtual reality, which is VR, is exciting, an exciting frontier that holds an immense potential. The gaming industry is witnessing a digital renaissance with the integration of artificial intelligence and virtual reality. These technologies enhance immersive gaming experiences and foster compatible among platforms. Another thing is blockchain impact. Blockchain technology is making waves in the online gaming market. It enables secure transactions, ownership verification, and separate ecosystems. Expect more to see more on blockchain-based innovations in gaming. And then that concludes this segment. So, real quick, the No Cap Zone provides young people and students with a platform to amplify their voices on equity issues with our schools and communities. It serves as a candid space for expressing our genuine feelings about societal events. In episode 2 of season 3, we kick off by discussing initiatives undertaken since the conclusion of season 2 and offering a preview of upcoming events before the summer. So, uh, let's delve right into the discussion for this episode. Um, so, real quick, we're thrilled to see Xavier back. But real quick, I would like to introduce our guest and that is Mr. Doctor Ray Raymond Burke Allen. So I'll allow him to introduce himself and
What's good? What's good? What's good? Can you guys hear me? It's your
yep.
boy, the infamous Dr. Burke in the house again. What's going on, man? Y'all, thank y'all for having me on this platform today. I really enjoy passing my knowledge base on and helping others become more acclimated and knowledgeable about this area where there's not that many people that look like you and I. Two black guys, three black guys on here. I'm just really excited that we're having this conversation because when I walk in these different rooms, there's far and few representation of people that look like us. So as we push to, you know, get more people and increase the representation on those platforms, I'm glad that you guys are on the forefront leading that charge. And so just a little bit about me. I'm the guy that, you growing up, you had a friend, he's like, he has all the toys and like he he's always doing this and he's in the music and stuff like that. And so went on to pursue those areas in technology professionally. And now I'm currently the CTAE director for online school district with about 10,000 kids. That my job responsibility as the CTAE director focuses on the CTAE realm, which in the national levels is CTE, which stands for Career Technical Education. So that's everything in from back in the day when I used to deal with. Just as the students matriculate on that level, I'm responsible for bringing the program in that they can go into those different areas. They're called pathways. And so in your high school, if when you look at your programming, those are like, I want to say the fun classes, the electives, but our pathways lead to industry certification and early access to employment in those areas. And so that's what I do on a day to day. I also own a company called iSteam Educational Solutions. You look me up at iSteamRocks.com, where I focus on bringing areas of STEM to the forefront to people that look like you and I. And those areas are robotics, drones, engineering, esports, music production, career readiness, financial literacy, math, and just a host of others. And I consult with school districts nationwide to not only bring what I do on my day to day, but things of this with my company. So today, I'm excited to extend one of the areas that I quite frequently is really on my radar and everybody in my professional arena. It's all the buzz, and so I'm glad that you all, as young people, are in this space of talking about it. And so I just kind of want to go into the area, and it's artificial intelligence. So I'll let you take the floor at this time.
All right, so thanks for introducing yourself. So let's get into side the topic at hand. So the topic at hand we have today is regarding the history of AI or artificial intelligence. So the first question is: have you ever used virtual assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant? How do you think these AI powered technologies have evolved, and what impact do they have on our daily lives?
Yes, everybody uses this. They are actually integrated into the cars now. They're actually integrated into the laptops, depending on which one you have. Series on Apple, and the other one is on Microsoft. And so they act as assistants. And of course, I have an Alexa too. And just they're everywhere. And they're in the PlayStation. You know, they're on the web browsers. You can hit the mic and be like, oh, find the party going on tonight, and it'll, close to me, and it'll give you those results. And so those assistants are the results of the onslaught of AI, right? And so now, because they're being more widely used, um they're being widely used uh a lot of people are, it's like a buzz out there. I'm sorry, I had a little distraction over here. But so yeah, I use them. How do I think that these AI powered technologies have evolved? I know definitely being in the engineering department that it started off maybe in the 1950s, when they were going out. AI has always been around. We've just, with the innovations in the makeup of technology, with the chips and how things have gone from the big mainframes down to like a cell phone with chips. Um, I've seen those technologies evolve as I use them as well. And they are actually have a drastic increase impact on our lives. They do everything for help you with ways, driving, dealing with all of the apps that you use, from TikTok to um, Instagram to Facebook. All of them has AI algorithm that helps you navigate that space quicker versus when they first came out, you'd be like, where do I find this? And or it was kind of like Apple. When I look at Apple versus Microsoft, it gives ease of use for the user. It's kind of like foolproof. Now those AI technologies are affecting the interfaces that people use, and increasing the ease of use and the ease of the ease of their lives.
All right, so thanks for the response, Xavier. If your tech is working properly, do you have anything to add to this question?
Um, Artificial intelligence can actually help us in our like daily lives. Like it can make our lives easier. All we gotta do is like sets to like sets set stuff to remind us things we gotta do, because I understand that a lot of us out here, we've been forgetting things, we be struggling, and sometimes we were trying to make it to like a certain event, and you just forgot you had some things to do this and do that, and sometimes you forget the time. So artificial intelligence can have a huge impact on a lot of our schools, businesses, computers, etc. Just like what Mr. Allen on here said.
All right, so thanks for the responses. So let's move on to the second question, and this is primarily going to be focused on the timeline. So the second question is: what challenges do you think AI researchers faced during the 1970s and 1960s, leading up to winter or AI winter? How do you think these challenges compare to the advancements we see in AI today? So if any of you have a response, now's the time.
Well, like I mentioned to you, AI started in the 1950s, and when you get ready to look at what was going on in the 50s and the 60s, I don't know if you all, yeah, I mean, you could probably, I mean, you guys are young, so, but still in the cinematography, the videos or the movies you might watch might bring these facets of those time frames into play for you. But I think I probably have a little bit more depth of knowledge of, when I look at these and look at the timeline of AI. And so I can kind of like really reflect a little better because of that depth of knowledge. And so, it started off in the 1950s. You got to understand, that's when, stoves and stuff were, the automatic, they would talk about UFOs, the 60s, they would always put these wings on the cars. The word for vehicles to make when they look sleek was aerodynamic, and so AI was in place. Um and it started off, it was created at Dartmouth Conference, where a group of researchers first coined the name artificial intelligence. And pretty much it came about by when they envisioned creating machines that could simulate human intelligence. And when we look at artificial intelligence, we need to keep that in perspective, as to when we recognize things are being going on. Like, instead of me thinking of something, it takes the information that I use every day. I can go back to like a Instagram or Facebook, and every time I go on the internet to look at something, now that it is brought into my interface, and it makes, based on what my taste and preferences are, it makes my experience on that platform that much better. So my platforms on Instagram look different from yours because of the things you follow, right? And so artificial intelligence today takes into account and puts into play how you see that stuff. And so when you're looking at the timeline, that wasn't around back then. The biggest thing, that was when TVs were just coming out from on black and white, and and stuff like that. So along the time, I want to keep moving on that since you're talking about the timeline. And so in the 70s, 80s, there was it was like an AI winner, right? You can go look that up too. Is a book called The Perceptrons, I believe it was The Perceptrons, which pointed out the flaws and limitations of neural networks, which we're talking about artificial intelligence. And again, in the 70s and 80s, that's where you would get the, Star Wars would be coming out, and all those, the change from, the mindset that there were UFOs and how that looked, and the way that the technology switched to that cinematography representation to what we see know it as today, with 3D. And like when I go to the movies, and just the music surround sound, the acoustic, how that plays in, it all was attributed to some form of assistance from artificial intelligence, as the individuals who were innovating those technologies sought some assistance from a computer to ease their use of achieving that task. And so that whole timeline is a crucial for everyone to know, especially when you're looking at where we're at from an appreciative standpoint, and just from a knowledge base as well. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, and this is like another question, regarding like what you're talking about. Um, so during like the '80s, do you think that there are things that they could have possibly did better to enhance AI from like an early age, or no?
So I want to say no, because of the advancements of materials, circuitry, access to inventions that innovated our lives, and just the innovation of technologies that we take for granted. Like, we FaceTime back in the day, and I remember the first cell phone was like a whole chair you carry around with a strap. You're like, what is that? A whole person you carry about? No, that's my cell phone. When it rung, it was like it was like a person clapping right there instead of the nice little, you know what I'm talking about. So, so I want to say no, but keep in mind, even back in the 80s, for to the representation of what AI was, it was advanced for what it was. And so, you know, as we look to electric cars and you know how you know they are trying to electrify everything and from planes on for consumption type thing. And so I think that having that then probably would have made it better. But again, we weren't on that discovery level at that time of the things that would push us in that area to be better.
All right, so Xavier, based off what you heard, is there anything that you would like to add, or no?
I would like to add, like, back then during the 50s, AI or artificial intelligence was fairly new to people. Like when they first brought it up, it was really new, even though technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. So over the years, as people started to develop like new ways to make it better, it became like advanced. And just like you said, Dr. Allen, just like you said, like the flying cars, the movie Star Wars and all that, that all came from artificial intelligence. So in the movies and stuff like that, it's actually helping people to create new ways to like make it better, make it more advanced. Is that's how we come up with like a lot. Everything is becoming electrified. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
All right, so um, since we're like halfway through our time, I'm gonna ask the third question. Do you think that the development of neutral networks and connectionism in the 1980s played a crucial role in shaping modern AI? Why or why not?
Um, hmm. Honestly, I don't have any answer for that. Honestly,
I'll let you go first. So you
Okay,
don't have anything for
so
that.
then
And so I guess I could start off by
do you have
just
anything, Ray, or no?
explaining. Can you hear me? Anybody can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So maybe I'll just start
Yes,
off kind of giving the audience
yes,
understanding of what neural networks are. You want to start there? Let's start there. So
yep.
basically, a neural network is a method in artificial intelligence that teaches computers to process data in a way that is inspired by the human brain. And so you got to keep in mind what a computer does. A computer originally was a binary system where you know it was cranking numbers out. And so it's like your engine. When I go out there and start my car and I look at the engine, it's pistons and it's doing that. You know, it has not. It's not like it's not singing. It's not doing anything. You know, magical. It's just cranking those pistons out. And so that's what a computer did for numbers. And so uh it's like you taking those numbers and giving them a personality. That's what a neural network does because you know um speaking of neurons, that's a brain, and so you're trying to get it to think like a human and take on a personality to take some humanistic characteristics as it processes those things. I was watching a thing, I think it's a Sphere, and I was like, why am I watching this out in Vegas? You know, everybody goes there, and so they have this thing. It might have been with um the morning show, and so they were in there, and it was a dance thing lined up, and it had a robot that had artificial intelligence. It was like the task is to jump on this square and this, that, and the other, and then it asked the question and it cracked the joke. But I was like, that was very robotic, but it interacted with the two people that was talking, and that's what was this is what it's talking about. And so on the onslaught of that implementation or this technology, it was bumpy. It's like the first car ride. Like I remember the first Corvette I drove. It was really rocky versus the new one. It's like driving a Cadillac now. Um, but at the end of the day, that's how things are. You know, you got the scale up where it's kind of rocky at first, and so now you're seeing the evidence of more seamless types of neural network AI being marketed. And that was one of the things that I spoke of, an actual robot. Hey, how you doing today? I'm fine. How are you? Not I'm fine. How are you? You know, it's no personality, nothing. So, and some people are scared of that. Especially when I get ready to use it. You know, you got Chat GPT that can crank out different things. You know, I use that for work tasks. It helped me get my DJ name. Like, go figure, you know. And just when I ask simple questions that I probably like, hey, how do you make this? It spits it out based on preferences of data. It's data mining where all of these things are put into a space, and based on what you type in there, it spits out different things. And so that's what AI is. And so the push to kind of like keep it moving is to increase how seamless that looks instead of that robotic. It actually, like, if I was being interviewed, like, no one would know that this is not me, Dr. Burke Allen, sitting here. And we're seeing that in play with a lot of the augmented reality where you'll say something, make a video of me as a rapper, a bodybuilder rapper, and this, that, and the other. And now I have this image. That is AI, y'all. Oh my goodness. In addition to some other things. So yeah, it's here. If you don't know anything about it, I highly advise that you find out about it. I highly advise that you invest in it. I highly advise that in some way, shape, or form that you try to get into the career field, dealing with it in some way, shape, or form, whether or not you want to go into the programming side or the management side on how to implement that. That's the side I'm on. Because down the line, it's like the Bitcoin thing, you know, or how new inventions, like we look at the PlayStation, or like how Jordan, when he started his shoe, that ground level, now he's making money. You don't even think about that stuff now. When you look at what's out here that's been invented. And so getting that first way, or even Apple, look at all these devices. Apple is the same, one of the inventions and that has been innovated, that if you get in on the ground level, you can pretty much financially, in addition to whatever you're doing on a day-to-day, block your future up with the results and the yield from that investment. So yeah, I highly recommend those individuals that don't know about AI, try to learn as much as you can about it and to invest in it. Go look up, Google search real quick and give your AI to show you how AI works. People are
All right.
watching you to your men. Go look up this search right here. The 5 top companies to invest in. The 5 top AI companies to invest in. I watch the financial services station all day long, so I know what they are. But those are the ones you can just go right now. Right now, $20. Go get you some. And down the line, just hold on to it. And just every time you get some money, buy into them. Don't touch them. And eventually they're going to play out. Watch. Okay. Next question.
All right. So this is gonna be the last question, and I'm gonna pick this from the audience. So the question is: are students being exposed to AI, and how is it impacting movie productions? So if either most likely I want to see what Xavier thinks about first. So
Um, how AI is impacting movies in school. Well, AI is impacting movies because it'll help the writer write scripts and write like plays and like try to put a piece of it all together. And for school, honestly, I don't think I haven't seen any. Unfortunately, I don't think I see anybody using AI in school yet. But I have a couple friends who do use AI. But so I'm not trying to get off track here. But yeah, but AI, I believe there are some schools that they use AI to help them with their work because I see some people download some of these apps and all they gotta do is just like ask AI to like solve this simple problem, like a math problem, and to give them the answer. So I believe that's going to make a big impact for them for them to get caught up on our grades. But also the downfall of it is that when you use AI in school, it's like AI is like your personal teacher. It's not like having a teacher in front of you. It's like you're having a teacher as a machine. So we gotta look at the upsides and the downsides of AI in schools. Same thing for movie productions. Like Disney literally just said they're gonna start making using AI and robots to like making like movies to make them look more real, to do these stunts that some people can't even do because like people can get injured. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, so Ray,
Who?
do you have anything to add for the question or no?
Yeah. So, where did the question go? I mean, I kind of just want to
So
make sure I hit it.
I'll repeat the question real quick. So the question is: are students being exposed to AI, and how is it impacting movie production?
Yes, students. So that's the two from. So for my day-to-day role as a district director, I do know that AI is in play. Came into play so quickly that the school district had to pivot on how to um implement guidelines surrounding grading, because you got plagiarism out there and stuff like that, and then AI is really making some jobs obsolete, and so you're playing into that piece of it. And so as students are using that, are you going to penalize them because they came up with this great screenplay by utilizing the tool? And so when, as a engineering and technology guru, I feel that engineering, anything that's invented or innovated, is should be geared toward improving the lives of the users. But when it takes away from the actual hands-on piece, it kind of handicaps us in a certain way. I feel, but I do know that school districts are becoming more open. There's a lot of professional development surrounding getting the teachers and the educators on board with what it is and how to really leverage it better to improve the student achievement um in classrooms. And so that was the first question. As far as the movie, Xavier already loomed into it. You have AI being used with holograms at in Vegas, different concerts, Whitney Houston, Tupac. I saw there was that was all created with artificial intelligence. There's a safety fact that Xavier hit on, where you want to allude. It's already be out there. It's already out there being used. I mean, I'm not in the movie industry, but I'm willing to bet you, out of all of the Marvel films, all of the Avatar, all of the Wakanda Forever, all of the, X-Men, I'm more than certain all of that is just inundated with footprints and evidence of AI implementation. And so, yeah, whether or not we understand it or believe it, see it or not, AI is here. And it is being used in the movie industry.
Alrighty, so now it's time for us to close because we hit our time. So Students for Equity has established this platform for students to amplify their voices on social justice issues occurring every day, both within and without school or outside of school. If you're interested in backing up our advocacy or even joining the team, please email us at studentsforequityinsschools@gmail.com. Reminder, within our email, it's not the word for it is the letter for it. So our No Cap Zone is proudly sponsored by educational entities. Please visit educationalentities.com to engage us or engage with us as we aim to amplify more youth voices in the advocacy space. So until then, we'll all see you inside the third episode.
Go check out Einstein Rocks if you want to get up with your boy, Dr. Berg. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, man. That was